Hi, Loomies. Welcome back to the Luminators podcast. It's your host, Lindsay Dorio. I am so stoked for today's episode. As you can see, I'm in a different arena. I am in the Jerry Banfield's home studio today, guys. Ooh, I can hear like a fake like audience clap for it right there. But we'll just make it our own. We're not going to edit this. This is unedited because no one wants edited shit anymore. We want authenticity, okay? And today I'm so stoked to be, of course, with Jerry and having him on this intensely awesome podcast that I've created with my friend Liz. But we talk about everything, having the reverence to bringing back the sacredness of life. And the way that Jerry operates is just so incredible. And I can't wait for you guys to see and hear from the being himself on how he deconstructs and reconstructs his life, hence the title, The Phoenix, the embodiment of the Phoenix, which literally Jerry carries with him and is. And if you don't know him yet, you can, if you're watching on YouTube, of course, you see the tag here that you can watch him or find him only on YouTube because he is not a social media butterfly. He is only on YouTube and is extremely successful there. And yeah, let's jump right in because this conversation, you will see what I mean by the Phoenix energy. Jerry just embodies the ability to deconstruct and reconstruct and rebirth his life in so many ways. So welcome to the Luminators podcast.
Thank you. It's a dream come true. I've wanted to be here after listening to Matt and Robbie and
yes, that masculine.
Angela
yes, we did a
Liz.
Series. Yes, he's a fan. We got to have fans as fans as fans. We have all of our fans, all of our homies. But Jerry, I really wanted to have you on this podcast because, again, you understand the sacredness of life and your ability to, again, become a phoenix. Knowing what the embodiment of a phoenix is being able to seriously, literally, metaphysically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, deconstruct your whole life and become anew just because you feel like this is the next level that you're ready for. This is what you want to experience in life. So I want to just go all the way back and tell us the versions of you, including your career path, your maybe what was encompassed with relationships during that time. Like start from a teenager. Who were you as a teenager and where and who you are now? Let's go through the whole Jerry Banfield's freaking life story.
Well, I was hoping you'd let me go all the way back to like before I incarnated here.
Oh, yes.
I chose my parents. I'm like, let's play this little game again. I'll spawn, in Michigan this time. And, my mom's still married to this other guy in an abusive relationship.
Classic.
Dad's an alcoholic and a drug addict. And
such a good one to come through.
I'm like, this will be a good time.
This will be a good time.
I can help them.
You see the mindset here, guys? We are the most powerful beings. We know if you can believe that you actually did come through this life with your choice of particular parents and soul ties, it becomes so much easier to realize what a game this all is and how experiencing life is really the pinnacle of what we're all here to do. That's it. It's really a game. And Jerry plays it so good. He's a freaking kid in a playground. So tell us, okay, you're a kid, come to Michigan with an alcoholic addict father and a mother.
Yep, and my dad had the decency to marry her when she was 6 months pregnant after he gambled the money to get a ring away twice.
Wow.
The third time he bought the ring and married her and he had a hangover. He told her they could only do two of three things. They could have dinner, they could have sex, or go to a movie. And my mom could pick two of those.
Okay, honestly, you sound like your dad, though. You are so, you're like, have everything planned out. And you're like, okay, let me get the structure for you. You can do this, this, or this. Choose your fate.
Yeah, maybe that's why I've had 2 kids with my first wife. And I'm like, okay, now it's time to have the second wife like my dad did.
Dude, exactly. He has a game plan for his life to unfold in all these different ways. He's like different families. Okay, so let's start from you're a kid, you're doing your thing. When you were a teenager, what did you think you wanted to be when you grew up?
I didn't think that far ahead. I was like video games, girls, but mostly video games. I'm like, I just loved video games.
Which you've turned into a career.
Yeah. It's funny because I even got to be a pro gamer on Facebook for a few years. That was fun.
Wow. What does it mean to be a pro gamer?
Like I made 6 figures playing video games on Facebook. And some of the highlights, like people would pay like $300+ to hop on a stream and play Call of Duty with me.
Dude, turning your this is what Jerry's a master of, turning your passions into your abundance, that your abundance is directly related to your passions, your gifts, the flow of energy. So, okay, you're a teenager, you're playing games, you're really actually not thinking that this can be directly related to what we're all conditioned to think. Oh, you're just wasting your life away, right? You're not doing anything worthwhile.
Absolutely.
You're escaping. But he turns it into 6 figures, baby. What other Phoenix energy do you need to know? Tell us how that happened.
Well, I really didn't plan for my future hardly at all. It's like living day to day, just trying to play video games.
What a concept.
My mom was in the military. My brother liked engineering. So I'm like, I guess I'll go in the army and be an engineer. Like I put almost no thought in my future.
Okay. So tell us that. So you're a video game teenager. You're having fun. You're just living your life. You love girls. And you begin to go into the army?
Well, I went to do ROTC in college, but then I started drinking and I got like bored doing engineering. So then I went into criminal justice. So I totally reinvented myself like in the middle of college too. Like forget the Iraq war just started. And I'm like, my dad opened up about his Vietnam stories. I'm like, he got drafted. I am not going to volunteer to send myself to Iraq. That'd be stupid.
So you decided to you went through ROTC, but then decided to take it into criminal justice, AKA Jerry Banfield was a cop.
Yep, guys. I dropped out of the ROTC after sophomore year. And then I became I finished my criminal justice degree, became a correction officer, then became a police officer.
Wow. Okay, tell us about that era of your life. Who were you embodying at that point? Did you really felt like that career, that character that you were playing was super in line and aligned for who you were at the time, right? What experiences did you get from being that character?
Well, it's really fun at first. Like I remember riding around the police car one day, I got my vest on, my guns, and it felt so good. I'm like, remember this feeling, because one day you won't be doing this, and you'll love like the feeling of just like being in this body and doing this right now.
Whoa.
There's so many highlights. Like the equestrian team, like all these hot rich girls, come around one day and they're like, hey, we need a picture with you for a scavenger hunt.
Oh my God. Classic.
So many fun memories.
And you were a cop where?
In South Carolina at a couple of different departments. One was a university though, the last one, and that was so much fun.
Yeah.
But it also got boring, and I went in really idealistic, like I'm going to save people's lives. I'm going to take drunk drivers off the street. I'm going to solve crime. And I did some of that. But then by the end of being a police officer, after, 3 years combined correction officer in a couple of police departments, the idealism was gone. The reality I saw is that most people got one set of laws applied to them. But if you were somebody with status, for example, a police officer, like I got stopped for speeding 9 times while I was a police officer, and I didn't get one single ticket because I just showed my badge every time.
Wow.
Or if you're somebody like the sheriff's cousin, a politician's aide, if you were anybody of status and you interacted with the police or there were allegations of a crime, it was a completely different, like I was literally told, before to let people go because, we had our whole shift was ordered by the major at 3 a.m. to let this politician's aide go because we were all going to take her to jail. She was drunk driving and wrecked her car and destroyed property, and the major comes out at 3 a.m. and says, everybody go home, she's getting a ride.
Oh my gosh, the exposure of the system, the good old boys system. That's what I've heard about everything that's like kind of government owned, right? That yes, order and all of these things are needed, but like when you're really in it, you get to see how corrupt and how unfair a lot of things are, right? You're trying to have order and justice be served, but really the big game is all hilarious because it's like, oh, it actually doesn't matter. It all really matters of what's going to be feeding the elites and what's going to be feeding the status quo.
Yes, if you have enough power, money, status, you literally are. I can see from what I've seen personally, if you get up to like being a billionaire or something, like you don't have laws anymore. It's all about don't piss off the other billionaires at that point.
Dude, which is a crazy concept because when it comes to being a billionaire, which when we're not at that status of level of having the physical form of abundance of having billions of dollars to have that type of freedom, it really shows what money is energetically, right? It's remembering that you're actually really powerful, coming back to the Phoenix, to reconstruct your entire life and become a billionaire mentally before it actually is showing you outside, right? So people just act like they own the world and they end up owning the fucking world, right? Like it is, I want to go into that, like why the energetics of Jerry's seemingly natural disposition in this life that I've had to do a lot of deconstructing of my own conditioning. I was in corporate America for almost 10 years, baby. I like a plaque for that because I think it was my best act yet. I deserved a Grammy for how much I was in that fucking character for almost a decade, okay? And I played a good role even though it was a fish flopping right out of water. They're like, climb the tree. I'm like, yeah, dude, I can totally climb that tree. I'm a fish, but I'm going to try to climb the tree. But the energy of understanding that it is your mind that is keeping you in a cage, yes? And keeping you in a story of, oh, I have to do this, this, and this, right? Because the intention, like he said, about becoming a cop is what you would hope actually everyone's intention is before becoming a cop. I want to help people. I want to save the world. I want to blah, blah, blah. But really, I bet you 89%, whatever the percentage is, people ain't going into the forces with that type of deep true intention. They're going because they feel safe doing it. They feel like protected, that they're going to have a job, that they're going to have job security.
Well, I wanted to have fun too. Like to me, the
Become
worst
a
thing
cop because you wanted to have fun,
yeah,
people.
the worst thing to me was to sit and rot in an office. I'm like, I'd rather get shot on the street than sit in an office and rot. I mean, I loved the action.
Dude.
But unfortunately, there was a lot of boredom being a police officer too. But at least at any time, something could go off.
That is hilarious. He goes from playing video games to being like, you know what? I'd like to be a character in one. I think that would be fun. I think I would love to experience that. I'm sick of just playing it on the internet. Let's go out there and actually be one.
I know I'm ruined for cars. People are like, oh, look at this BMW. I paid $130,000 for it. I'm like, that's nothing compared to having a car where I can pull people over and take them to jail. Like, I don't care how fast your car goes. Like, being able to take people to jail.
Whoa. Okay, so this is giving me more insight on your power that become a cop first, and then you will feel powerful enough to understand that everything else is just lame, okay? We're all trying to, like, get worthiness from our status or the things in which we have, right? We're always trying to like impress another person, but really the power comes from believing, oh, I actually have hierarchy over you.
Yeah,
right?
I ended up, I that's what I liked too. I love the power. Like you put that gun and the badge on, get in the car, and it's like, I am powerful, and everybody knows that. And it ironically contrasted with my personal feelings of powerlessness. Like that when I'm off duty, I was drinking and doing the same stuff I was arresting people for on duty, and the hypocrisy started to like just tear me apart. And some of the, my fellow officers, were operating the same way.
Whoa, that's so deep, right? It's like the hypocrisy, which should eat away at you to the point where you can no longer do it or be a part of it, right? Like if you, and everyone is in this right now, there is a part of you that is doing a certain job that you actually don't feel super connected or authentic in because you realize the hypocrisy in it. And that's, I think, what brings that ego death of like, uh-oh, now I'm out of integrity with myself and I have to do something about it. You would hope so. You better hope your soul unwinds so much and deepens you into such sickness. And this is what me and Jerry talk about a lot. It's like, if we don't become experts at being this phoenix, right, you will get sick. We talk about disease and how it comes into the body, what grows when you're letting inauthenticity or you're being out of integrity, being out of alignment, eat away at your literal cells. So tell us like the transition. So you started to get a little bit weary about, oh, this is the hypocrisy, like you said, is eating away at me. So how and when, tell us the age that you were and like what trajectory you thought you were on with the cop thing, and then how you phoenixed that shit.
Well, it was going rough. There was a rebirth coming, and I remember my dad saying that he didn't think I'd live through another night shift because I was like the night shifts were crazy because I'd wake up at like 5 p.m. on my days off and start drinking. Like I'd go straight to the bar with my friends. I didn't normally drink in the morning, but if you wake up at 5 p.m. because you're on night shift on a day off, and then your friends are already at the bar, and I'd start drinking at 5 p.m. I'd get home at like, midnight, 1, and I'd drink till 10 in the morning, and then either take a day off or do the same thing the next day and then go to work the day after that. So it started to spiral. I was getting crazier and crazier, especially that feeling of like, I have this special status. Like, unless I get really far out of line, I can get away with drunk driving. I can,
Wow.
I can get away with being, crazy at this club. Like,
that entitlement.
yeah, it got to be nuts. And I attracted, I was at strip clubs and I attracted crazy people that would, and I started drama at work with the dispatcher. But that ended up helping me burn it all down because, everybody told me, don't start seeing her, don't date her. And I'm like, nah, that'll be fun. I don't care if I throw my career over. This is going to be so fun. I've got to do it.
Oh my gosh.
And it ended up, I just couldn't stand to keep working with her and seeing her anymore. And she felt the same way. So I ended up quitting. And then I moved home with my parents. And it was like, as long as I was in that police officer world, I had this tunnel vision of like, my life is, I'm going to just be a police officer and I'm going to increase in rank and I'm going to do this for a career and retire. Like, I had these dreams of doing other things, but as long as my day-to-day was, you can identify with this in a corporate world. Like, as long as my day-to-day is pouring everything in this job, then I'm like off duty, I'm doing things like drinking and playing video games to kind of compensate. Then I couldn't hardly see. But as soon as I quit, it was like my whole world opened back up again. I'm like, I was so afraid of leaving the world, but it felt like a death where as soon as I quit being a police officer, the next day I woke up with this massive relief, like, all the court cases I had pending, against people I'd arrested, all the stress and of both my stuff off duty and on duty, all the drama, it's like erased. And it was just like being reborn. I remember I'm like, I'm so relieved. And I was so afraid of this, but how crazy is it that what I was afraid of feels so good?
Dude, the paradox of that, right? The Phoenix death, these downloads have been coming to me, of course, like again and again and again, right? We all are talking about the same concepts when it comes to how we're living this life, what this whole life is. And the death comes the life. Like we cannot have one without the other, right? You have to be willing. And now granted, it's going to happen regardless. It's just when you start to realize this game that we're playing can actually get easier. You can take those cues way before your life is on fire to where you're forced into death and scared of it, and then realize it's actually the point of orgasm. Like, whoa, why do I feel so resistant yet deeply attracted to this right now? It's like, it's resistance, but yet it's opening and expanding space for the next thing to come in, because you cannot create the next thing without letting go of the last, right? So you died to your ego death as a police officer, didn't get shot, damn it, you didn't get to experience the thing that you wanted to. You didn't get to die the way you really wanted to. Why, God? I became a cop so that I can die. Ooh, dark comedy coming at you.
Angela, what's up?
Angela Hutchinson, the queen of roast and dark comedy. So after you died to this police officer identity, what came next?
Well, then I got into, I'm going to be a professor. I knew I had this desire to teach.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, I've been in corrections. I've been in policing. I want to teach people now, and I want to share what I've learned. So I need to go back to school for that. So I immediately started working on getting a PhD in criminology so that I could be a professor. I knew it'd be a great career. It'd be a place where I could, have freedom to explore. And I got accepted to USF in their criminology PhD program, even though I didn't have a master's, which was a leap of faith for them. I did great on the test scores. And I got really good recommendations from my fellow police officers too, which was nice.
So wait. If you're a cop or you're some sort of status, you can actually skip an entire educational level?
It's something anybody could do. I got high enough test scores on the GRE that I'm like, I don't care about a master's. I want a PhD. So they, you can essentially pick your master's up along the way, but like it's straight into the PhD program.
Without a master's degree?
Yeah, without a master's, like just with a bachelor's.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've always been really good at manifesting. When I decide I want something, like it comes, and everything that needs to happen makes it happen.
And that is also a key indicator of how brilliant. Well, it's a lot of Jerry's neurodivergence and he's not connected to the conditioning that neurotypical people are, right? It's like, oh, I have to do this and this. It's like, who told you that? Because I'm living in a different world, right? It's like your connection to something greater is so much stronger, I think, because the conditioning that we all get exposed to is just doesn't hit you the same. But it's like his belief that I want this. I believe I can have it because I've built some sort of structure within myself that actually believes I'm worthy of having the thing that I want. And then the whole universe conspires to it, right? It's like we don't have to go with every way that someone else told you things are going to go. Look at this. This is why I wanted to bring Jerry on here. It's like, oh, everything can conspire in my favor. Okay, so you go to this PhD program, become a professor of criminology, or did you have a death in between there?
Well, no. So I got after I had 3 years there, and I remember when I moved there, I started in 2010 at the USF in Tampa, and I remember just rolling in. I'm like, felt like a baby, just crawling around. I'm like, yes, got this new body. I'm like, I'm so excited for this life. But then I met my first wife. I don't have a second one yet. Applications are currently open,
pending and open.
But so I met her during my first year there.
Okay.
And what happened was, being with her was so massively inspiring. But the dispatcher, being with the dispatcher set up being with this first wife too. I had this, the dispatcher was like perfect to me, like everything I find attractive physically in a woman. The personality was not quite so compatible with me. But after that, I had this unshakable confidence. Like I know, the hottest girl in the room that's single, that's the girl I should be talking to.
Whoa.
And then when I met my ex, I was like, nice, this is what I deserve. Like this is where I'm willing to give my heart.
You had proof of your abilities to hold that type of woman.
Yes, and I was so excited to be with her. It just blew up this inspiration across all of my life. And one thing I started after dating her a few months was my first YouTube channel. And I just made videos just talking shit.
Really?
My first video was literally how to say fuck. Like that was literally my first video. It got age restricted. And it wasn't in different languages. It was all in English. Like, fuck. Fuck. And that was my first video. It was like a minute long. And I sent it to all my friends, and they thought it was funny. So then I made videos about like Charlie Sheen, Miley Cyrus. And then I made a video about the Casey Anthony case.
So you were like a pop culture commentator?
Yeah, I just started making videos
about your opinions.
Yeah, and I made some of the first videos I made. I had my shirt off and I was talking politics too. It's just hilarious.
An anomaly.
And then my first video that got thousands of views the day the Casey Anthony verdict came out. My video got thousands of views in one day. Almost all of them were dislikes too. Like I was making fun of the case. I came up with a scenario, where I probably can't even say it, but it was some really dark comedy around the case. And I was because I thought, you all have I was making fun of everybody who's following the case. I'm like, you gotta have something better to do with your life than like caring about this court case and being all upset about it. So I was making fun of everybody.
Yes, which is the mark of a good comedian.
There were 80 dislikes, like 7,000 views and 10 likes, and all 10 of the likes were from my friends on Xbox. And I remember after that video, I'm like, holy shit, like this is what I want to do. This is what I care about. I mean, I just got 7,000 views on a video. That was like huge in 2011. Okay. So I just started grinding videos out after that.
So 2011 started your YouTube career.
Yeah.
Becomes a cop, still going into school?
Yeah, so I finished my master's degree in 2012, moved in with my now ex-girlfriend at the time, and she was a personal injury attorney. So she could pay all the bills easily in our little apartment. So I'm like, I'm going to quit grad school and just do online stuff full time. I'd made no money at all in my first year, but I'd got, tens of thousands of views. I loved it. And I'm like, I'm just going to do this full time. And
wow.
You can pay for everything. I'll clean the house while you're at work and stuff.
What a lucky dude to be set up perfectly for his dreams to come true. And this can happen for you too if you just believe. If you just are following the next thing that's inspiring, like he said, like the energy of what came next was him just following what was deeply inspiring, right? Was deeply feeding that part of you that just feels alive. And it's like, oh, I can just follow this and trust that this is directly related to success, abundance, being seen, your gift, right? Your gift turned into you being a YouTube personality.
Yeah, and I was just having fun the whole time. Like as soon as I stopped having fun, either I would blow it up or I'd move somewhere else. Like in corrections was fun. It was dangerous at first too. It was scary. I'm lucky. That was probably the riskier environment than being a police officer. Like one of my coworkers got beat nearly to death one night.
Whoa.
And then the next night, his coworker beat up one of the inmates and got arrested at work. So
What?
it was a crazy environment. But as soon as it stopped being fun, I'm like, I got to get out of here. So with grad school, it was so fun at first, but it stopped being fun. And I moved into YouTube. And then I just follow like what's fun, what's joyful, where's the energy at?
Now, this is why me and Jerry get along, is because my core value is also fun. And I think it always...
Funnies.
Funnies and fun. It seems like to me, it is every human being's basic... It should be a value, a core value, right? It's like, why else are we here if not to have fun and to feel joy? But to feel joy, of course, we have to feel pain and suffer and like realize that we're addicted to some sort of cycle of suffering because that's what gets us to the highest joy. So the fun mark is deeply valued or your value is deeply given praise when you're actually just following it. So you're just following this YouTube thing because it's fun. So you started off as like basically a commentator, right? Gaining followers from that. And when that wasn't fun, did you switch the subject, or how did you start to build up where you became YouTube famous?
Well, I just tested. Everything was an experiment. Everything was a test. And I got tired of doing the commentary on stuff. Most of those didn't get very good views. So I just tested, and I also talked to people and I listened. I'm like, what do people need? And I learned, I figured out like, okay, this does need to make money. So I need to figure out something I can do to make money. So the first thing I figured out to make money was Facebook marketing. Back in 2012, when they released Facebook pages, I'm like, I have set up a page right away, and I'm like, okay, how do I get likes on this thing? So I learned how to advertise my page with Facebook ads.
Okay.
And that's when I started making money online in 2013 with Facebook ads. And then in 2014, I found Udemy off of just posting all my Facebook ad stuff and sharing everything I learned and getting clients. Somebody's like, you need to post an online course. So I found Udemy in 2014.
Which is a
online course platform. So I found Udemy, and some guy had like some shitty Facebook ads course up there was the top course. I'm like, I'm going to fucking destroy this. So I put my Facebook ads course up there in one single day. I took 12 hours and filmed a 3-hour long Facebook ads course with a shitty mic, shitty camera, and like poorly done screen shares. But my course was better than his because I had better information. It was newer. And then I got so frustrated the course wouldn't sell. I just started giving it away. I literally did ads to free coupons. I'm like, well, this is stupid. Nobody's going to buy it. But I got so many free students in it, then it ranked #1 above this other guy's course. Then Udemy started promoting it.
Wow.
And then I started getting passive income, like thousands a month. I'm like, wow, imagine. I was testing all this other stuff too at the time. But then when that course started selling, I'm like, imagine if I put all my energy into it. Then this old guy that did this course on, how I make $2,000 a month on YouTube without filming or some shit like that. He was basically stealing videos from North Korea and then uploading them. And and then he put a course out, how I make $1,000 a day on Udemy. I'm like, if this old guy can make $1,000 a day on Udemy, I guarantee you I can make $2,000 a day. So then I started paying people in like Eastern Europe to grind out courses that were in demand. I borrowed all the money I could get on credit cards to pay these guys. Like I paid this guy in like Romania $3,000 to make a hacking course, which was a lot of money to him in 2015. And I'm like, you give me copyright. He filmed like a 12-hour hacking course for like $3,000, just sitting there on his computer doing, screencast tutorials, basically. I uploaded that on Udemy, and then I promoted it on YouTube, and that thing destroyed.
Really?
I mean, that made millions of dollars. So then I poured all that into more ads for all my courses, paid more people, and I got to be a top 10 instructor on Udemy.
Wow. Dude, he blows my mind because it feels like, okay, people are living in this reality where they believe that they are creating their reality, right? And Jerry is so tapped into this. The Phoenix knows that, like, wait a minute, if I just truly understand that this is a game that I'm playing and I can experiment with and feel into where certain energies would like to be given, you just receive so much back because you're willing to be risky. You're willing to detach and die to everything that you thought was the way to do things and let it go and say, okay, let me recreate something new, right? Because Jerry doesn't have a scarcity bone in his body. It's like, this is why he's such medicine for me, because I come from an Italian background, Sicilian, like deep lineage of like scarcity, where I think somewhere in Sicily, like they got like some conquistadors, or they were definitely taken over and raped, and like all of our stories, right? We have deep blood lineage of scarcity that I've had to unwind and unravel so much, because it's like, oh, you break my brain that like you can just do things like that. You can just die to self and become new whenever you want.
Well, the key mindset I have with this is knowing that these bodies and this reality is temporary, being certain that these are going to die, and at some point it'll be as if this never happened. Like I will very much be alive doing something else, but I won't even remember doing this.
You're dreaming. You're dreaming. Don't forget you're dreaming right now.
Face reality, like, hey, I've got nothing to lose here. Like, the worst scenario would be to not really live.
Oh, can we just integrate that? The worst scenario is not to die, but to not be living while you're alive.
Yes, to be like a Walking Dead that's just going through your life on autopilot, like one survival day at a time. I'm like, I'm gonna just play this like it's a video game, and I'm gonna go for whatever's most fun right now.
Yes, and I know this will attract all the people who are tapped into this whole thing is assimilation and blah blah blah. But I want the people who are still realizing, like, oh my God, I'm feeling like I need to listen to some weird woo woo stuff, and I feel like they actually have something to say, right? And you're like starting to see the clownery, the complete deception that is of the whatever you are tuning into and subscribing to, right? It's like you are subscribing to a certain thought process condition that probably came from either parents or just society, of course, but it's all smoke and mirrors when you can realize you have a breath to blow away the smoke. It's like, what? I didn't realize I had that power to just see through the bullshit and actually gain a co-creation with God. I know we talk a lot about that, of like, if I am, like Jerry said, he is creating his reality by seeing this data and saying, oh, okay, that could work. Let me just, and I know that takes talent, right? That takes a certain brain functioning, but you are just as capable, right? Like coming back to the reverence of life, that you are a human being, which means you are literally a fractal of God that you can co-create with this energy that you are just as a part of, that you just need to cut there's something happening, right, with the cloud. We all know the cloud, right? We all have access to this cloud. Let's just put our data right back into the cloud. But these are thought processes that get anchored into your brain, right? And they're like literally cords and threads. This is the way I've been thinking about like the Matrix lately, of like, of course, if I say they as the elites, or like the people that we think control everything and that we need to follow this strict thing, right? It's like, oh, I have to be this way or I won't be loved and taken care of. They implant, and then we're just puppets. Like, of course, we're just like, but I can't. You're glitching my matrix by telling me I can't just be a doctor and have a really good life. It's like, okay, yeah, become the cop, and realize that it's not as fun because you don't get shot when you want to. No, I'm just kidding. Dark humor.
Well, okay. A big thing for me too is that I know that I'm the creator of my reality.
Yes.
Like, I'm creating everything in real time, like on some level. But then people are like, well, why do all these bad things happen in the world? And like, because it's interesting. Because like, why would you watch a movie where there's anything but like love and light and rainbows and, you know, babies that are being parented and raised nicely?
Boring. No, I'm just kidding.
You know, what helps me is like, I'm the creator of my whole reality. Everything that's happening at the deepest level is my creation. And even everything that appears to be outside me is my own creation. And people are like, well, why, you know, prove that you're God, make this happen right now. Like, that would be boring. If I instantly, every single thought I had, every single thing, every single time instantly manifested, that would be hell. Because it would be
preach.
What makes this reality interesting is this dichotomy of I'm a total victim and everything happens to me and I'm utterly powerless, versus sometimes, you know, I'm the opposite. Like, every single thing that happens is my design, my plans. I thought like almost everything I've ever experienced, I thought of it and imagined it first.
Yes.
And then I put myself in position for it to happen.
Which we don't realize we're doing, right? That's why I think it's funny. There's such a manifesting trend, right? It's like, you got to manifest. Like, you are manifesting everything at all times. You don't have to try.
Exactly.
You are manifesting what you are believing.
Manifesting is constant.
Manifesting is constant. So yes, can we shift timelines according to what we are aware we are actually thinking and what we are manifesting? You don't have to try to manifest. You are manifest. So you look at your life and you become real with yourself of going back to, am I in alignment with my values right now? Am I having fun? Is this fun for me? And a lot of people, of course, not a lot of people, we as human beings have to suffer for as long as we need to suffer until the soul goes, all right, not fun, literally not fun anymore. You've been having a kink of suffering for 5 years straight, okay? And it was real hot. So like you just
suffering.
it's a kink, baby. Because everything goes back to like, just like I just wish things will change. And then like God brings in like 5 things that will help you change. You're like, I just need like a sign. And then like 4 signs come and you're like, I don't know, I just like need God to answer me. It's like, okay, I'm going to try again. And it's like, because you have to own that you love where you're at right now. Once you own like, damn, I'm actually like, I don't want to change right now. And that's okay too, right? It's like that mindset of like, I know it's the awareness, your awareness, you're like you said, you're a co-creator, so you know where you're at in the story. You know that when you're thinking something, it's going to come, and you know, like you said at one point with becoming a cop, you're like, I'm going to indulge in this right now because I know it's not going to be forever. I know I'm going to evolve. I know I'm going to be different. I know this is temporary.
Yeah, to some degree, it helps to kind of be delusional too. Like I remember when I was working in corrections, I was sitting there on night shift, making $20,000 a year, risking my life, sitting in prison with people 40 hours a week. And I remember one night I wrote a plan to become president. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do like of the US. I'm going to do, 5 years here and like policing and service. And then I'm going to move here and then I'll be a local politician. Like I sat there and I planned out like, this is what I want to happen.
This is how Donald Trump became president.
Exactly.
He's delusional.
That's the thing. To some degree, you need to own your own way of looking at things constantly and not let anybody else override that. Like this recently, one of the things I've gotten to is nobody's going to make me wrong. And I'm always going to have my own back. I'm never going to berate or make myself wrong. Like, I don't care what I do or what people think. I will always have my own back. I will always love myself. And what nothing anybody else says is more important than what I think. If somebody wants to make me wrong, like, thanks for your opinion, but I'm not interested. I'm not changing.
Yes.
I'm willing to change and I'm willing to be flexible and I'm willing to adjust my personality. I'm willing to adjust my character, but when I find what's true within me, I don't care what anybody else thinks.
And it's not, and it's interesting because that whole thought process or theory can sound like, oh, well, you don't care about anyone else, or you're being self-centered to the point where your selfishness is not being considerate of the collective around you and how you affect people. And it's like, can you imagine if everyone is taking that amount of self-responsibility? We would get along so much better. There would be so much harmony. And of course, it's what divides us is not what someone else does to you that makes you feel more like a victim. It's your ability to be so true to what is just present within you and still takes full responsibility for what you are feeling, how you are thinking of a certain thing, and approve of that. Because when we start being codependent and extracting from those around us, that's when disharmony comes. It's like, I need you to do this so that I can feel better. But if you don't fully approve, you are setting yourself up for I guess in some cases, a good time to suffer. If you like that kind of stuff, go on with your bad self. But there's such freedom in taking full self-responsibility for where you are and where you're going and becoming the phoenix. Okay, so Jerry, you went on YouTube and just like made millions of dollars on fucking YouTube, just like doing what was fun for him. Super easy, okay? Then how did it morph into what it turned into? And then I want to go into your next Phoenix experience of your next death. So what was after YouTube and how long did that change, or how long did that last? And where did you start to find where you needed to die again?
Well, in 2016, Udemy decided to ban me because I was one of, if not the largest voice of Udemy. I had, tens of thousands of dollars a month in ads running. Like if you found Udemy, if you went to the website, I was going to capture you and you were going to see my courses. I had the, large YouTube channel. I would criticize Udemy policies. I followed all the policies, but I would, I was a huge voice and I was showing how much money I was making and the staff were getting jealous. I read this book about the power of sending people gifts. So I sent at least 100 people at Udemy one of those like edible arrangement fruit baskets. I went through the employee directory and I gave them, I paid thousands of dollars to like edible arrangements. I gave them a list. I'm like, just send one every day, one day after another. Only two people sent me a thank you note. But these are like $30, $40 each too.
Dude, generosity.
So I did stuff like that. Always, it was just anything to promote myself. But then they banned me. And then I went into crypto YouTube after that, which 2016 was a good time to get into crypto YouTube. And I made hundreds of thousands of dollars in crypto YouTube a year. Then my integrity got in the way of that, unfortunately. So
Fortunately, I have morals.
Yeah, it was actually really annoying because at first I'm like, I'm just going to buy this coin and shill it. And then when it hits a certain price, I'm going to dump it. And I didn't think of it that way at the time, but I'd buy it. I'm like, this price is awesome. And then when the price went up, in 2016, I bought $11,000 of this crypto called Dash. And I had one of the largest crypto YouTube followings in the world. So I'm like, we're going to all buy Dash right now. Dash is going to be the next Bitcoin. I did ads for Dash. And then the team pissed me off. So I'm like, fuck y'all, I'm selling all this Dash. And then I got into another coin, did the same thing. But then by 2018, my son was born and something happened. He was born on my birthday. There was this level of realization. I'm like, you are winning in the eyes of most people. You've got millions of followers at this point online. You're making hundreds of thousands a year. You're paying all the bills for your family. My ex at the time, just was a stay-at-home mom. She quit her job so she could raise our daughter. And then when her son was born, she continued. And in most people's eyes, you are such a winner. You have all these followers. You're making all this money. But I felt like a loser because I could see my audience was losing because of what I was doing. I was selling them on courses they mostly, according to the data, wouldn't watch. Most people that buy an online course don't even start the fucking thing. Don't even watch one video in it, especially if it's a cheap course. Even $300 courses, most people will not even watch the first video. It's an aspirational buy. They're being tricked into buying something they don't need. And I saw with crypto, I looked in the mirror and it's you're lying. You're being dishonest with these people. You're shilling them one thing after another. You make money. Whenever you calculate that the opportunity's gone for you, you exit. So they buy higher than you and sell lower than you all the time. One of my friends lost $70,000 because I sold him so hard on the coin that when I exited, I'm like, look, this shit's going to zero. He's like, no, I really believe in it. I'm like, you believe in it because I told you to believe in it.
Whoa.
And he lost 70 or 80,000 because I started exiting it. I told everybody I was exiting it, and the price crashed 95%. And when I saw that, I'm like, I'm the evil right now. And what's fucked up is from the outside, people are like, oh, so impressed. But inside, I'm like, I'm doing what I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of.
And this is classic consumerism, right? It's we are tricked into thinking that we need all of this stuff because they are showing you something that is beyond your capacity to think, right? Jerry is not selling the thing. He is selling his frequency, right? His frequency is that dude just seemingly knows what the hell he's talking about, even if you have no idea about the subject, right? Because he said it from his frequency. And this is how they get us. Right? Free thinkers are the ones who are hopefully like Jerry having this deep existential whoa, I'm actually not in integrity right now. Right? Can you imagine if every elite or every rich, what we can consider these people who are taking advantage of others can start to have this awakening within them of oh no, this is all for me and now it actually doesn't feel good anymore. Right? So how did you unwind yourself from that? So you sold everything and
It was rough. Unwinding that was rough. So first in 2018, my ex said she didn't want to have any more kids. And I very clearly said that I wanted 3 kids on my Match profile when we met. And then I updated that to 4 kids in 2017. And then she said after 2 kids, she's like, I'm done. I don't want any more kids. And that was like the first big rift in our relationship. And then right after that, I destroyed our finances over the next year. And I can see now the 2 of those are related. So she didn't trust me after that. But I destroyed the finances by aggressively borrowing. I tried to do what I did on Udemy again. I tried to make a Udemy competitor platform. And at this point, I was in such, like, this will address some people like, oh, you just manifest whatever you want and everything goes your way. It's like, no. I was on such a winning streak for years of everything I do just turns to gold. Everything I say, I sell, that I'm like, I can't fail. I'm going to make this platform and I'm going to be a decamillionaire. I just need to borrow like a couple $100,000 first in order to pay all the people to make courses and to build the platform and do the marketing. Well, I borrowed all of that and I was still paying the bills for the family. My ex was not working. We had 2 kids under 4 at home. And then over the next year, I just destroyed the finance. Like my net worth was like close to $1 million in 2018. And by 2019, we were at negative hundreds of thousands. Ooh. It was a brutal roller coaster from being close to a millionaire all the way down, like almost minus $1 million net worth within a year and a half.
The Phoenix is rising.
And the bottom of that, I remember one day, this is when I got into Louise Hay's stuff. I was coughing in the car. And I had told my ex a little bit about how serious things were with the finances, but I had not been abundantly clear. I'm like, look, I'm borrowing tens of thousands a month just to like pay the bills and make the minimum payments. And then I was reading Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Your Life. And I was in the car coughing on the way to pick the kids up from school. And I remember she talked about coughing and willingness to change and the connection. So I said out, and I was frequently having coughing fits. So I said out loud, I'm changing. I'm willing to change. And I said it with as much force as I could.
Conviction.
And the cough stopped immediately. I was like, holy shit. That was incredible. Like that, that defies, I grew up with a Western medicine mindset from a mother who was a veterinarian and a career in the military. Like we were all medical system. There was no other way.
Wow.
And then right after I said that, I thought, well, what do I need to change? It's like you need to tell your wife what you've done to the money and you need to beg for help because you're fucked here. Like it's all ruined. It's all over. You are like $15,000 away in credit card cash advances from absolute zero. Like all the payments will fail. And I cried in the car. I'm like, fine, I'll ask for help. And I remember feeling so emasculated, like I failed. Like that was a death right there. Driving home with my daughter in the car, crying, I'm like, I've utterly failed.
That voice in your head. That
from
voice.
Like the previous 3 years of being, in most people's definition, like such a success. And I'm like just destroyed now. I'm like, how the hell did this happen so quickly?
Dang. So you really, talk about death. This is seemingly like a threshold of even like a new Phoenix that was about to come online, right? Like from that point of like really feeling the huge drop, right? Because you haven't swirled down that far in a long time, or at least feeling, right? It's like, I'm sure astrologically speaking, that was crazy time for everyone. Like, was this around 2020?
This was end of 2019.
Ah, yep. Right before everything goes to shit.
Manifesting. So, and I will mention I got sober in 2014 too. Like you're saying down, I hadn't been that down since early sobriety in 2014.
Okay.
But I remember at the end of 2019 thinking, damn, if I could just get some really low interest government loans for like $100,000+, this would all be fixed. And that looked pretty implausible at the end of 2019. But just a few months later, here come the low interest government loans. I'm like, I gotta fucking be more specific on my manifesting. Like, I saw a bankruptcy attorney at the end of 2019, and she's like, yeah, you can only get rid of $50,000. We had $650,000 debt as a family, including my ex's massive law school loans, our house, and my business loans, my credit cards on the business and personal. She's like, you can only get rid of, out of $650,000 in debt, you can only get rid of $50,000 with personal bankruptcy. I'm like, Jesus, this has gotten bad. And I remember I walked out of her office and I felt triumphant. I'm like, I'm not declaring bankruptcy. And not only I'm not declaring bankruptcy, I started imagining the incredible story I'd have when I got out of that without bankruptcy. And I started feeling the shocking level of wealth that I'm like, I just walked out of a bankruptcy attorney's office. Things are totally fucked and hopeless, but I know there's going to be a solution. I know the story is going to be incredible. And I have so much wealth that I have a house. I'm not at risk of losing a house. I still have a wife. I still have kids. I can still pay for massages, even as fucked as my finances are. I can still pay for massages.
Yes.
Like, so the feeling of wealth was massive in me, despite the external reality. So what I've found is that the feelings are most important for manifesting. That feelings to me drive external reality. And from that mindset of wealth, I focused on that. And what's crazy is a year and a half later, I'm getting like this company paid like $3,000 or $4,000 for me to play with some of the best Warzone solo or Warzone gamers in the world.
Wow.
And promoted my streams. Like and I made 6 figures the next year. I had been trying to do gaming. So I ended up getting into gaming. But in 2020, I spiraled and got so pissed off because of all the bullshit in the world. I actually sold all my equipment, my whole studio, and said I was quitting online in May 2020. And then within a year later, I'm one of the top Facebook partners. So let me tell you that vision. So August 2020, I had been, scraping together finances. My ex gets a job so that she can start supporting us. I dropped all my expenses to the minimums, and I had sold all my office stuff, tens of thousands of dollars of equipment. So I got rid of my way to make money. I tried to start an in-person show in June 2020.
Whoa.
Everybody's like, this is a stupid idea. I'm like, I don't care what y'all think. Like, this is fun, but it didn't work. And eventually nobody came to the shows. So
when August, the whole world is against you, the phoenix still rises.
I had this Facebook page with 2 million followers still that I'd had for years. It was a verified page. And I went live. I'm like, what should I do? Like, the show's over. And I had been gaming for years before that, but I'd quit gaming for a year to focus on my business. And they're like, come on, come game. Call of Duty Warzone's blowing up. And it was so cool. So at this time, we had no money for anything except to pay bills and stuff and pay minimum payments. And I remember I went in to jump on my little fitness trampoline one day. And it's really important to be able to to me, what people get wrong too is damping down your emotions with anything. You want to be able to hit really high emotions all naturally and really low ones and handle that, because that's where some of my best work is. So I was jumping on this trampoline. The reality is our finances are fucked. I just sold my studio 2-3 months ago. I have no equipment. I had all the consoles, all the stuff. I have none of that. I'm jumping on a trampoline. I have this vision of being a professional gamer and getting really good at Call of Duty Warzone and making a bunch of money. Now, this is where I differ from most people. I can see this and I can almost grab onto it. And the rational mind would argue with it, but
yep.
I can feel, I'm like, fuck, this is happening, isn't it? Let's do this. The fun, I'm like, holy shit, this is going to be a ride. And I remember my ex being like, oh, really? And I remember my mind thinking, there's no way this works. You have nothing. You don't have any equipment. You can't start over with shit. So I just started asking for help. I'm like, all right, guys, I want to stream again. What do y'all think? And my audience yes, please. We're locked at home. We want to watch you play video games again. They'd waited a year. And my friend gave me an Xbox that I had given him. My other friend gave me a microphone I'd given him. I went on Facebook Marketplace, bought a $600 used PC that a guy in Tampa put together for me. I bought a shitty camera that was used to film funerals on Facebook Marketplace. I put together a streaming setup with this most ghetto shit to start. And I just start live streaming, and I'm having so much fun that me having fun, because most everybody else that's streaming is grinding and they're not having fun. And my fun vibe starts just being magnetic, and
yes,
things just randomly start to happen. I run into this lobby, and I have this huge upgrade I've got in the game from an Easter egg that's, for one game. And this guy fucks me up. I'm just praising him. Most people in that situation would have got toxic and talk shit. I'm like, dude, you are fucking God. How did you do that? That's the best gameplay I've ever seen. And I didn't know he was one of the top Facebook streamers in Mexico. And he was a former professional Call of Duty player. And I didn't realize he had my audio from the end game. I was talking to his thousands of viewers live.
Yes.
And he just dumps all his viewers on my stream. And then I just start like blowing up on Facebook after that.
Wow.
And it's like, it's just, I see now it's like how each thing I did set up all that other stuff to happen.
When nothing makes sense and you put your 2 cents in, that's what happens. Your whole new life gets created. It only takes 2 cents, 2 pennies. Just your vision, your trust in your vision, because it's interesting. It's like, yes, there are more naturally, I guess, people who have visions, and like you said, have these you are a visionary. We are all telepathic. We have connection to God. We have connection to the other realms, right? Which is, the veils are getting thinner and thinner now, where people are actually realizing, oh shit, the hippies were right. Everyone was right. The crazies, the woo-woos are actually right. Shit, all the conspiracy theorists are just like sipping tea like, bitch, told you. But it's when you can trust your vision is actually giving you insight into your future, right? It's not just like this idea of like, oh, that's a dream, that's crazy. And again, allowing your mind to dictate, be a dictator of your life. You completely blow it if you can just trust that initial vision that comes in and go, whoo, let's get excited, and use everyone against you who is seemingly making you into a victim as fuel, right? It's like this switching, it's this trickery. You think we're getting tricked to be victims? It's like, let's bring the power back, Satan, okay? Well, I think Jesus did this pretty good. I think he went down to hell, grabbed the keys, came back. He's like, no, you're not, I'm the one in control here, right? I'm taking the precedence. So I would love to, go on this kind of final stretch of how you're ending up here today, because I know there's a few deaths in between what happened in 2020 and 2021, wherever you're at now, and who you've become now back on YouTube. But there's such goodness in the rest of Jerry's story with the like how many, I don't even know how many phoenixes we're on right now, okay? But let's just keep it going. What happens after you become famous or successful again after selling everything? You go back to the gaming.
Yeah, so in 2021 was an amazing year for me. I remember the moment I was like really frustrated with the state of the world, and it's like, remember when you wanted to be a professional gamer and you wanted those low interest loans? Like everything in reality conspired to help you do that, didn't it? It's like, oh man, I gotta watch what I manifest. But 2021 was like one of those high years, but I also ended up signing these secret terms and conditions that with a non-disclosure agreement that were a part of being a Facebook partner, which then gave you like the top reach and opportunities and like near immunity. I could say almost anything on Facebook. And I started pushing the limit on that because you couldn't report my page manually, like automatically. You had to, a person at Facebook had to intervene for an action to be taken on my page. So I was like, holy shit. And then I got into all these conspiracies and stuff. So then by the end of 2021, I'm going into 2022 thinking, how may I serve humanity? That I will sacrifice myself if needed. I will serve humanity through whatever I can do. I want to make a better future for humanity. I had these dreams of like telling, a federation on other planets that like, all right, the consciousness is coming along here. We just need a little more time, taking a little longer than we, would like, but it's, we're moving. I see progress. So I'm like, this is my mindset. And I had a guy, Tony Rodriguez, who wrote Series Colony Cavalier. He came on my show one day and talked about how he'd been, cloned and abducted and taken off planet and stuff.
Whoa.
And I totally believed him. So that's the space I was in coming into 2022. And I'm like, I'll do anything to be of service for humanity. Just let me know what that is. And then I woke up on February 16th, 2022. I had an idea that felt like an absolute bomb. Like, it's Black History Month. I've always wanted to be black. I just realized I could change my race. And I woke up this idea and it felt like this was like the best idea I'd ever had before as a content creator. I'm like, this is incredible. Like, I want to do it personally. I want the journey personally. I want to know what it means to be black.
All of those people right now who are listening and going, what the actual fuck? And who is this dude and why are you associating with him? How about a little non-judgment?
Well, so what some people called this woke euphoria, but I was very much in a woke environment too.
Okay.
Where like everybody's changing their gender. And I used to stream in a woman's tube top. So people always ask me, are you trans? Are you gay? Like, I'm like, no, I'm just trying to get views here. So a lot of my followers were very woke, and I was in all that.
Yeah.
So I woke up, I'm like, the next evolution of this is for people to change your race. So I'm like, I imagine myself being like a civil rights hero. Like, look, this guy thought to change his race. Like, wow, that's how I thought it'd go. So I didn't tell anybody
Not yet.
about this
That's like
beforehand.
2050 that's going to hit really good.
Well, and I'm a believer too that ideas have their own life. And the idea came to me because it saw I would immediately deliver it to the world, which I did. Within a few hours of having the idea, I went live on Facebook and the stream went viral. Like, people are like, oh, I went viral. I'm like, how viral? Like, millions and millions of views across like all platforms and celebrities talking about you. That's viral to me. Like, that's what happened when I changed my race. It was
Who was
nuts.
talking about you?
Charlemagne the God, the author of Black Privilege. He loved me changing my race. He's a black celebrity and radio show host at a Breakfast Club. He did a whole video about me changing my race, but the craziest thing is, a black celebrity didn't put his criticism of Facebook for discriminating against me based on my race. He didn't put the clip on Facebook. That's how fucked up this whole system is.
Wow.
He put it everywhere else, YouTube, out on the radio, but he did not put the clip on Facebook.
Jeez.
Because I guess somebody at Facebook probably told his team, like, don't put that up. Like, you don't.
You're gonna get canceled.
We've taken this position.
Super
don't
canceled. Super cancel culture.
Yeah, I'm like, at the time, that was one of the most horrible things I went through, because the hate. I was shocked at the hate. I thought people would be really proud of me and like, wow, look at this guy thinking different. Oh no. Like, the hate was absolutely horrifying, and all the supporters were mostly silent to start with. But then there's a murder show. There's a black, one of the top Warzone streamers on YouTube. He made a video saying he supported me. Then Charlemagne the God came out with a video right after that. And then a bunch of other people had their videos too. It showed me how fake the news coverage is too, because I watched a bunch of clips of people covering my race change, and most of them, the information was inaccurate. Charlemagne was one of the only one that actually got all the facts correct but especially a lot of the white YouTubers just talking all kinds of bullshit, and they didn't have the facts right at all, and hundreds of thousands of people are watching these videos with inaccurate information. I'm like, Jesus, like this, you have no idea how inaccurate the vast majority of the information is that you're taking on these platforms.
Tell your mom, because she's probably not listening to this podcast right now, that the freaking news is not to be trusted.
Yeah. So what that
on the most basic level.
Now I look back and I'm like, I was really what was the craziest thing though? My brother called me and said that him and his friend were talking about what race even means 2 days later. But my brother, I hadn't told him yet because I was bogged down with everybody I was talking to. He did not realize I'd changed my race, and his friend hadn't either. Like, the idea I put out was so powerful. Like, it went across the whole country, and people rethought the concept of race based on me changing my race. Like,
wow.
I'm just an intermediary. I took this idea that wanted to be delivered, and I delivered it. If I hadn't delivered it, someone else would have delivered it. And I saw a bunch of influencers over the next year posting about the same idea themselves.
I've definitely heard of this concept, or I feel like there was another woman who did that. It got so much hate.
I should have read her book before. Well, I shouldn't have read her book, because if I'd have read her book, I wouldn't have done it, because I would have known how much hate was coming. The only way I was able to do it is I had no idea how much hate was coming. But that hate made me stronger too. It's like if you're going to disagree with me in my face, like, I've had, videos made that hundreds of thousands of people have seen bashing me.
Yeah, of course. It's like any public guy.
I'm not fazed by you disagreeing with me in person.
Yeah, I was a cop.
Yeah, so after that, then that was a hard time of finding myself and feeling lost. My ex absolutely hated the whole thing.
Oh, I'm sure.
But ironically, I swung politically off of the woke stuff off of that too. I realized what bullshit all the woke stuff was, and I couldn't believe I got sucked up in it.
Wow.
And then I got into crypto YouTube again. This time I swore I'd be honest. And then I was honest to a degree, but it was in my favor. I was just shilling every coin I could to get as many subscribers as I could. I immediately was like making 10 grand a month again within 6 months, selling a course. But then I kept talking to people face to face. And they kept asking me, like, look, you talk about all these coins. Isn't there one that's actually good? And I realized, like, damn, I'm out here talking about all this stuff, and I don't know much better than they do. So then I went and found the one crypto internet computer protocol that has real tech and the biggest team And you would think that would be the top crypto, right? The tech is so far past everything else, it makes it all look useless. Nope, it is intentionally suppressed as much as possible, and the whole industry tries to keep it quiet and bash it. So I got so frustrated with that after a couple of years. I thought if I just gave people the best information in crypto, everything great would happen for me. And I realized, no, the whole system is based on people lying, cheating, and stealing and saying anything to make as much money for themselves, and they don't give a shit about their audience at all. They're like blatantly, everybody in crypto, blatantly lying and being fake and ripping all their followers off.
Wow.
I'm like, is there any area in capitalism where this is not what is normal?
So then from there, you started to deepen into this like death, this next death that was coming. We were like, whoa, I'm not even connecting. Like, what am I actually doing here on YouTube, right?
Yeah, I resisted it pretty heavily. So in 2024, I remember feeling I need to get off YouTube. I need to do something more local. And I remember facing like I need to get divorced too. Like the things with the marriage had just snowballed from not wanting kids to me blowing up the finances to, me changing the race was another thing that just, because I didn't tell her. I knew she'd try and talk me out of it. I'm like, I can't get talked out of this. This is too important. This needs to be done. And if I tell anybody else, I won't do it. They'll talk some sense into me. So I remember in 2024, I went to visit my family, and I was like, for the first time, I realized I could have a nice life if I got divorced. I had never thought of that before. I'm like, I'd always thought divorce is failure. You're a loser. You've ruined things. You getting people that get divorced, that's failure. And your whole life will be a failure if you get divorced. And I remember just going up there and thinking, I could have a great life being divorced and seeing a little vision of that. But everybody, this time, I asked everybody for help, and nobody affirmed that. Everybody told me, stay married, do anything. You'll lose your kids. Your ex will destroy you financially. And they affirmed, like, yeah, you'd be a loser if you got divorced. Like, your wife's very attractive. You have healthy kids. Why would you get divorced? I'm like, because I feel there's someone else for me that I will be much happier with. There was a girl I've only ever saw once at this yoga class. She was just so playful, and I've never seen a girl have this much fun at yoga. Fuck, and her name was Caitlin too. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
So
we won't go into all of this, but okay,
God.
so you
I
continue.
just realized, I remember seeing her. I'm like, that is exactly the woman I want to be with. I don't want to be with my ex anymore. That's the woman I want to be with. Like, not like that's an avatar. Like that, I need to be with a woman with that kind of energy, not this like masculine work. My ex turned into the provider. She didn't trust me with money anymore, no matter how much I made after that. She emphasized her masculine and like directed everything in the house and like in charge of the money.
Valid to have to swing to that. Understandable. Everything is understandable.
But I saw I needed to kind of go through this death, and I put it off for a year. But then in 2025, I decided this is the year I face things. This is the year. So I was so burned out on YouTube that I deleted all my channels. I deleted all my followers because it just felt like I was just shouting into the void. Nothing I was doing was useful. But I see now that part of that was because of the dynamic I had with my ex and how she felt about my work. And then me being more of the feminine one in the relationship. Like, I should be really rooted in my masculine solid. And then when I do YouTube from there, it's really strong. But like my personal life was messing up my work, and
as it does.
I went to massage school for a couple of weeks and then quit because the guy tried to tell me how to think. I'm like, fuck that. Like, you're not going to tell me how to think and then question.
Do you know who I am? I'm a phoenix rising and over.
Then my ex, we kept fighting and have silent treatments, and then we sat down after another day of that, and she was really toxic about it. I tried to be an author for like 9 months. I'm like, I'm going to write books. Books are better than stuff on videos. My ex hated that. She's like, your books are absolutely worthless, word vomit or something like that. And I'm like, this is fucked up. I need a woman who supports my work because I'm never going to reach my potential if my partner doesn't believe in what I'm doing. So then we sat down at night, and I'm like, she's like, what are we going to do about this? I'm like, I think we need to get divorced. And she'd been waiting for years to get divorced. She just didn't want to do it confrontationally. As soon as I said yes, there was no going back. And it was a really kind divorce. But I remember I woke up the day after that conversation, and I remembered my grand sponsor from AA, who's passed away for 10 years ago, saying we were reborn, like from the big book. And I was just like crying. I'm like, holy shit, this is a huge death. And this is like, I'm like a baby again. Here goes another brand new life. That whole life I had of the whole
For the
idea of
past
my
12
life.
years.
Yeah, it's gone. The whole relationship, the marriage, all this stuff, all these ideas, it's like it all just died at once.
Wow.
And now we're being reborn again. I'm like, here we go, baby.
I've been here before. I've been a baby before.
And I just feel like after like 9 months or so since that, I finally feel like I'm getting solid and like I'm so grateful for this. I love where I'm at now. I'm so glad we got divorced. I'm so glad I went through not just that death, but everything I've been through so far has been so much fun. Like, just excited to see what's next.
Guys, I know this was a lot. This was so much information and so much like fast-paced moving storyline Hollywood movie of Jerry. Jerry's literal life is a Hollywood movie. And I'm just so honored that you guys get to hear just a tidbit. I mean, right? It's like, this is like just a freaking Spark Notes version of how to embody the literal phoenix of someone who has been through what seeming is hell and back and keeps continuing to know that, like you said, when I can shed and become a baby again, I get to experience a whole new life and totally take responsibility for everything within it and where I'm going, why we're even here. Why are we even here? If you still believe that this is just one life and it's all we get, you're probably not, honestly, you're not listening to this podcast. Probably not. But I want to just kind of like wrap it all in. Was that the last of you just came out of the last death. He's 9 months out post birth of new birth, right? And having a great time, having a beautiful relationship with his ex and doing YouTube again, right? Like getting back on YouTube with this new perspective, with this delicious new embodiment of the masculine and really feeling like you have a whole new lot on what your next vision will become and what you are going towards and walking in, right?
Yes, and I know, like, I go around with this, like, I'm the creator and all that stuff, but on a human level, I very much believe in connection with other people and asking for help. Like, with getting back on YouTube, I tried being an author from, like, June 2025 to March 2026. I gave away hundreds of my books, thousands of dollars of my books. I dropped them on doorsteps. I put them in free libraries. I gave them away at yoga studios. I gave away all kinds of books. I went on people's doorsteps and dropped envelopes off, like, sharing my books, asking for help. I put in effort for 9 months to be an author and it was going nowhere. So, one night I started getting in fear. And this is where a lot of people lose track is you fight the fear. It's like, honor the fear. The fear is guidance. It's not something you should fight or try and tamp down or feel like it's wrong. It's there for a reason. I'm laying in bed. I'm like, fuck, this could go really bad financially if things don't change. Like, what needs to change? So I'm like, look, I'll do, I offered myself up again. Look, I'll do anything that is useful to people. If I need to change my mind on something, I'll do it. Guide me. And then right after that, 3 people in a row that I just was having random, I played tennis with a guy and I asked him about his work. So in person, I usually try and get other people to talk more. Like I try and get other people to share there because I already get enough time to talk. So this guy poured out his life and his professional, struggles and stuff to me playing tennis after the game. And he's like, well, what's going on with you? And I gave him like a quick 2-minute summary. And he's like, why don't you just get back on YouTube? I'm like, fuck, no. And then I ran into a girl I know at the park walking randomly. She was in almost the same situation professionally as him. And then she told me the exact same thing. She's like, why don't you just get back on YouTube? I'm like, God damn it.
I'm hearing it loud and clear, God. I hear it loud and clear.
Then I went out on a date with a girl 3 hours later, and she's a full-time creator on Instagram. I'm like, okay, this is getting really obvious. She's like, why don't you just go back on YouTube? Oh my God. So literally that day I started 4 YouTube channels.
Whoa.
Because I could feel it. I'm like,
the energy.
This is the direction. You took your time off of YouTube and this is a gift. Like you burned all your stuff online down. Now you can rebuild very intentionally and just focus on YouTube. So now I've got 6 channels. I put 6 videos a day out every day. And it only takes me a couple hours usually to film that many videos. And I'm having so much fun. And I'm like, I feel like I'm doing the best I've ever done on YouTube before.
Jerry is a beast, okay?
Not a Mr. Beast, though.
Not a Mr. Beast. But one day, maybe. But guys, we are going to wrap up. And I just want you to take this episode in, maybe rewatch it, see how the elements of the energy of the Phoenix come through for your personal life, hearing Jerry's story, hearing his experience, strength, and hope from everything that he's been through, how he does it, and really gaining this confidence that like, whoa, okay, if he can do it, I can, right? This belief. And Jerry, I'd love for you to tell people what you offer right now, if people can work with you one-on-one, like what your offerings are besides, of course, being a YouTube personality and all the things that you serve, and what is lighting you up right now for humanity and how they can reach you to do that.
Well, I've tried to figure out like what's the best thing I've ever offered and what do people really need. In an age where you can go to ChatGPT and just ask anything and get instant answers. And like what people really need is real human contact. And that's what has helped me make so many transitions. I didn't just sit there getting divorced like, oh, I'm so sad alone in my bed. Like I talked so much to people. Like we had lots of conversations about it. I talked to people. So what I have on my website, jerrybanfield.com, you can schedule a Zoom call with me. And I got tons of slots. It's only $49 for 30 minutes. You can just pop in there. And that's the main way I'm monetizing what I do.
Is life advice, life coaching.
Well, it's whatever you need it to be. If you want to talk crypto, if you want to talk content creation, if you want to talk relationships or out of the box thinking, I'm just there for whatever. I can film a video with you also. Like my studio is set up so efficiently. You can just pop in on Zoom. I can hit record and you can film a video with me. And you can debate me on something. You can share your story and I'll publish it on my channel and you can have a copy of it. Like I'm open to receive on my website and I've got a container that's like consistent. It's a Zoom call for 30 minutes. If you want like an hour and a half at once, you can book like 3 in a row, but it's there for whatever you need to support you. It's real human connection. I could make so much more money if I sold some bullshit course or something like that. I fucking hate people's online courses, which is ironic since I've made millions selling them.
Hey!
I'm like, if you're going to pay for something, pay to talk to somebody you really care to talk to.
Yes. So if
that's
you
what
are
I offer.
Amazing. Offering, I know it's so revolutionary, real human connection and having just resources and feeling this incredible sacred reciprocity in someone else's experience, being able to help you find your power. That's really all that I feel this podcast is. So if you feel inspired, triggered by Jerry, thank God for that. Okay. I want you to thank God for everything that came up in you by listening, and all the thresholds that you were going to cross just by listening to this, listening to his story and hearing him and feeling our frequency together as co-collaborators. So I am so grateful for you. Thank you so much. You're such a light in my life. I'm incredibly excited to see the weaving that continues and how you light me up and how you shift me daily. So thanks so much, Jerry. Find him on jerrybanfield.com or, of course, on YouTube. And we'll be back for another delicious, sacred episode of bringing everything back to the reverence of life. Thanks so much, Loomies. See you soon.
Thanks a lot, Lindsay. That was so much fun.